and dropped from further consideration, or the EIR should be delayed until the tunnel's financing is assured. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm Dr. Marina Cabestri, Mayor Pro Tem, South Pasadena, and thank you, Honorable Chair, members of the board, Mr. Hanley, welcome, Mr. Garcetti, and new board members. South Pasadena is pleased that the board is considering responses to questions posed by Director Najarian to County Council concerning preparation of the environmental documents of the SR 710 gap closure. We would like to point out that NEPA, and for this reason it is incomprehensible that there is not a memorandum of understanding between Caltrans and Metro as to who is responsible, accountable. To spell that out is very important. And that's just 2 years into the process where that responsibility is not spelled out as of Measure R. The Court of Appeals has agreed with us that the North Gap closure certainly does not have to be a tunnel alternative, whether tolls will be used, whether trucks will be included. We urge you to get more information before moving on. Thank you.
I'm going to make a suggestion and ask some of you your opinion. Excuse me. We are not voting on this. Jan Suju and Dr. Tom Lewis, Amy Goodman.
Good morning, just a moment, please.
And Burgess, followed by Earl Sachs.
Go, Sam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sam Burgess. I was going to speak on one point. I will speak on another, specifically the attorney-client privilege, which I consider to be an insult to the public. For over 3 years now, we, the public, have been to almost every meeting this body has held on the 710 issue. We've continually asked who was in charge, who was going to make the final decision. Finally, Mr. Najarian was able to get this issue, this question on the agenda. And what happens? We have a lawyer coming up here and saying the public does not have a right to know what we're talking about and what our decision is. That is, if not illegal, quite insulting. Thank you.
Seguridad, salud y medio ambiente.
The tolls proposed for this tunnel will basically guarantee that it will remain empty and will be a failure, a costly failure that will only leave the communities with very big risks of safety, security, and risk to the environment.
El costo millonario de este proyecto amenaza prioridades de transporte público. En lugar de túnel, necesitamos servicio las 24 horas del día, 7 días a la semana y transporte gratuito.
Thank you.
The cost...
For your time, Mr. Rowan.
Of why you would want to connect some of these stems of our highway system and to relieve some of the pressure on some of the other highways, such as the 101 and such as the 5, that flow through critical junctures downtown, and even to relieve pressure off of South 710. So I would hope that we at least have the opportunity to get a study before us to where we can actually consider on a monthly basis to have various discussions on memoranda that have come with our legal counsel to others. I think we need to let the process move forward and then let's make a decision. I know that there are people that are opposed to this. There are many others that do believe that there may be benefits. You know, some of the moratoriums that were talked about earlier dealt with surface routes. The surface route has been taken off the table, and I think many of us heard that when the surface route was taken off, that there would be consideration of a...
Supervisor Antonovich.
A few months ago, we had asked who was responsible for this issue. And Mr. Leahy, we discussed it. It's a Caltrans project. Caltrans is the one who's responsible. It's not the MTA, it's Caltrans. We all know that. We know that. The idea that somehow we don't know some of these costs, therefore we're going to demagogue it. It's funny, those questions were not asked just a couple months ago when this board voted for the subway, I should say a tunnel in the Sepulveda Pass, where it's clearly undefined, had no environmental work completed, had no known cost estimate, would require private investment backed by a toll facility to collect those revenues. And again, it was a major tunnel that increases demand for use of the tunnel. And yet it was silence. So this is just pure demagoguery. I mean, let's get the facts. Let's have the EIR completed. It's going to be completed in 2014. and then we can discuss what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. It's time to be, you have to be a statesman and get the facts, and then attack it based on the facts, but don't support projects without the facts, and then, again, oppose another project on the basis that you don't know the facts. That's why we are doing the EIR. You didn't know the facts when you voted for the tunnel under the Beverly Hills High School. So again, let's get the facts and then we can discuss that. And when we all know that Caltrans is the agency, that's the lead agency in this. And that had been discussed in a meeting, and many of the 710 people who were for and against the 710 were there when that was discussed.
Thank you very much. This concludes this portion of the meeting. We will adjourn to